In less than 24 hours, the GOAT returns, and there's a good chance the millions of you watching right now around the world have sprinkled a little something on Big Cat. Look at this, the most bet golfer in the DK Sportsbook to win the Masters, top 5 finish, top 20 finish, make the cut, and miss the cut. Oh my God, what would we do without this man? The man who was the needle in said Masters and golf world. What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Sweat, presented by DraftKings. I am Emerson Latzia. Jesse's dog still has violent raging diarrhea, so she is not here this morning. But you know who is? DraftKings contributors Geoff, Reid Fowler, and the newest addition to the gorgeous golf gurus, Pearce, Dietrich.
Oh.
Reid, by the way, who after his 2-minute rant on yesterday's show about not having enough Masters content in the program and our producers burying it constantly, gets his wish. So not only are you guys leading this award-winning program, but we'll have you back later to discuss DFS salaries. Because right now, we have best bets to get to. Believe it or not here, Reid Fowler, there are some other guys who are playing in the tournament besides Tiger. So let's talk about 2021 FedEx Cup champion Patrick Cantlay. He enters the Masters with plus 2,500 odds to win. Missed the cut at the Players. That was his last tournament. That was his last time out. What are the chances you see maybe like a bounce back performance from him here? Or do you like other options in this price range, betting range?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Patrick Cantlay. And you talk about moving the needle, Tiger Woods, for golf. It seems like I am the needle mover for the Sweat, getting us 2 segments and adding another familiar face in Pearce Dietrich. Excited to hear what he has to say about this tournament. But yeah, I mean, Patrick Cantlay, you take a look at what he's done. Look, it hasn't been great in majors for Cantlay. But what you need here, and Dustin Johnson just said this on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, that you need to take advantage of the par 5s on this course, which is, that's not rocket science. And guess who's number 2 in the field in strokes gained par 5 over the last 24 rounds? It's Patrick Cantlay, right? This guy was, him and John Rahm early in their season were like light years ahead of everybody in strokes gained tee to green. It's just been a little bit of a dip, which is what we see with every golfer, is that you can't stay at the top for too long because these guys are really good. But I don't mind it at all. I mean, the guys that I do like in this range more, Kyle Brooks, I'm going to side with them a little bit more. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cantlay's up there.
All right, Geoff, what are you doing around this plus 2,500 range, dude?
I mean, I don't think there's actually much argument. Like, the best value among the top players this week is probably Patrick Cantlay. He's plus 2,500. And why are people necessarily off him? Well, I mean, he finished T33 and then a missed cut in his last 2 strokes play events. So much like Rory McIlroy, whose odds are also at plus 2,000 and ballooned a little bit, he's just coming in with like a couple mediocre results. But you look at Patrick Cantlay's body of work, he obviously won against the elite fields in the playoffs. He had a pretty good start to the year where he just missed grabbing a win. I mean, he sinks 1 putt at the Phoenix Open, and you feel like Patrick Cantlay's odds are probably closer to plus 1,800 this week. So I think Cantlay is absolutely fine. I think he's got just as good a shot as most of the top players this week. He's been in contention down the stretch at Augusta before. He actually had the lead here very briefly. I think it was back in 2018 or 2019. So Cantlay's fine. He's got the all-around game that can grab a win here. Absolutely. It's just he doesn't have that like screeching recent form that maybe like a guy like Scottie Scheffler does. But I think value-wise, if you're betting 2 guys from this range, I absolutely don't mind adding Patrick Cantlay at all, because at plus 2,500, he's got the biggest odds.
Okay, Pearce, new to the program and to the Gorgeous Golf Guru segment. What do you think about Patrick Cantlay here? Plus 2,500 odds, dude.
If I agree with the experts, is that a bad sign? I mean, that means that the experts agree with me. I don't know. Yeah, he looks pretty good. I know the current form is not there, but at comparable courses, he's played well. Top 20 tee to green, top 20 in off the tee, putting. It all checks out. But hey, I'm a sucker for Jordan Spieth. I like the course history. I like the way they closed out the Valero in spite of a bad putting day. That is a concern, but these guys have mentioned it all week. The greens are so tough at the Masters. We've seen bad putters end up having good performances and win here. Jordan Spieth, when he won in 2018, he was not putting well that season. He finished 3rd that year, so I like Spieth a lot.
Spieth was gushing over Hideki Matsuyama's like championship dinner menu last night too. Yeah, Reid, you loved that as well, didn't you? You love all that sushi. Reminds you a lot of home, that menu.
Oh man, I would have gone with the butterfish though, as opposed to the cod for the misoyaki, but Hey, cod's not bad. I get it. You can't, the Constitution, like some of these guys are not used to that kind of food. So you don't want to put something that's a little too foreign into their stomachs for like 2 days before Augusta National.
Well, Fowler, what do you think about Hideki's plus 3,500 odds here? Because he had that withdrawal. I think it was the second round of the Valero. Like, there's some major injury concerns with this dude, but do you think this could offer up a good opportunity to actually bet the guy?
Not really. Look, it's extreme. Like, look, outside of the injury, it's really hard to win back-to-back, right? Tiger's done it, and that's like when you talk about currently of the people in the modern game, that's really the only guy to do it. So outside of that, now you have the issues with the neck that you've seen the kinesiology tape on the guy over the last 2 weeks. He withdrew at the Players, then he did the I'm only going to play 27 holes and then withdraw from the Valero. So you just can't take that, on face value. And there's a ton of injury concerns for a lot of guys, right, this year. Paul Casey, Bryson DeChambeau, Hideki Matsuyama. I'm going to go away from all of that and go to my guy Daniel Berger in that same range at plus 4,000. I just like where his head's at, and where his game's at, excuse me. And if the winds in the forecast do stay, which looks like Friday and Saturday is going to be fairly windy, this guy in proximity, when you talk about windy conditions, he's one of the best with his irons. So, and he was there at the Players, just, a bad ruling here on Sunday with the bad group and some other stuff kind of got in the way, but I like Berger in that range.
Man, Geoff, he was playing some great golf, too, that win in Japan last fall. And let's not forget that playoff victory over your dude, Russell Henley, at the Sony Open in January. But also, Henley also has the same odds as Hideki.
He does, and he's probably actually a better bet this week. I don't think you should bet either of them. I don't think Russ is quite long enough to win this week. Maybe as a first-round leader bet, but Hideki is just plus 35. It's just not big enough to bet a guy who's withdrawn from 2 tournaments in a row. I mean, Hideki was actually playing really nicely before, so it's kind of a shame. But Reid's right. Berger's the play here at plus 4,000. He top 10'd at Augusta the first time he played it, a few years back. I think it was actually back in 2016, so more than a few years now. But that's who I've liked at these odds for a while. I mean, I've always said that Daniel Berger, or I've said this year, Daniel Berger just seems to be getting disrespected. He's got, a couple wins over the last 2 years. And yet his odds always seem to be double a lot of these guys. Bigger than Altors. Altors doesn't even have a PGA Tour win. He's got shorter odds than Daniel Berger. So I think Berger at plus 4,000 is definitely this is the play that you want. If his odds are going to be bigger than Hideki, do it. You can also double dip at the plus 2K range. We were already going over guys, but Hideki for me is an absolute no-go this week.
And Pearce, I just don't know how anyone can be confident in this guy's health right now.
I am.
Oh.
Most back pain is psychosomatic. If Hideki reads
John
my
Sarno's
God book on healing back pain, healed my back pain, he cured Ben Crane. These guys are laughing, but anyone out there who really has back pain, they really should read his book. It's psychological, folks. Read the book. Understand
or just watch Doctor Strange if you believe in this kind of stuff.
Well, you believe in science? I don't know what to tell you. Read the book. Anyway, so if he is able to tee off and he gets started off well, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to put the back pain in the rearview mirror. And so maybe I don't make the bet, but in DFS, you're going to get low ownership. He is affordable. We know what his upside is. If he can get over the psychological back pain, he'll absolutely crush.
Wow, Pearce, how's your bet?
I love Pearce incorporating the when not DFSing narrative here, bringing in the books, but it's a neck injury. So if you have healing neck injuries, then a book, then I mean I know they're connected. I understand that.
Syndrome, TMS. Look it up.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, look, this is why we bring in Pearce. He's got to bring in the obscure stats. I love it.
Dr. Dietrich, man. Weird flex. We get it. You read books, dude. We get it. Hey, let's stay in that plus 3,500 range here. Pearce, WillieZ. Like, why are people not talking about him?
Well, they are talking about him. I'm hearing his name on all kinds of DFS golf podcasts. Here's a little tip for the normies out there. You can pull transcripts from YouTube videos and just search for WillieZ's name, and you're going to see it pop up about, basically every time. And the experts are about 50-50 on him. So with DFS, I don't think I would go there. His ownership's going to be a little bit high. But if that many experts like his chances this weekend, and I think he's worth the bet. And the knock against him is his putting. But as these guys have mentioned all week, the greens are so tough that it's kind of an equalizer. And we have seen poor putters perform well. If he does everything else correct, he definitely has a chance.
Okay, Geoff, one shot short of a playoff in his bid to win the Masters. That was his first try last April.
Great story. Asking people for Will Zalatoris to replicate that magic 2 years in a row, you're just asking for trouble, man. I mean, he's a great young player. He really is. He's going to win on the PGA Tour at some point. He shouldn't be plus 3,500 in the outright market. We just don't see players like this just come in and win their second time through, unless it's Jordan Spieth. So you're basically telling me that Will Zalatoris is going to grab his first PGA Tour win this week at the Masters. I'm sorry, I just can't get there. I think Zalatoris had a fantastic week with the irons and the putter last year at the Masters. We've seen his putter let him down in numerous spots already. So plus 3,500. We already talked about Berger, so I don't really need to tell you who you should be betting. It's just, Pearce mentioned, like, people are still high on him, and that's fine. But one of the hardest things in golf is to back up a top finish, especially at this major at Augusta. There's so much pressure. You come here, the expectations are ramped up. Where's Will Zalatoris have to go from here? It's win or done. So I think there's just too much expectations on him this year. It's just not the spot I'd want. You should be looking for Will Zalatoris to maybe win one of these regular PGA Tour events before you get too excited about backing him in majors. That's my take.
Reid, over his last 24 rounds, though, he's first in the field in strokes gained tee to green. I mean, that's huge considering the setup, right, for 7,500 yards?
Yeah, I mean, it also you got to take into account what this course is, which it's an anomaly. You have some correlations to it in terms of the green type, the undulations that it's like towards Kapalua, right? But it's in its own vacuum. And Zalatoris played fantastic last year. It was great, right, at coming runner-up. And you also take a look on difficult courses. He's only second, right, I believe, to Colin Morikawa in strokes gained approach in terms of strokes gained. So there are cases to be made for Zalatoris. But I'm with Geoff. I mean, you talk about this course specifically, it is extremely hard. And you talk about those 4-foot putts, and I've been outspoken on Twitter about guys missing 4-foot putts, 3-foot putts. This is a place you cannot do it.
Yeah.
You absolutely cannot do it. If you're not, well equipped, and guys who weren't coming in great form putting and then putted well also have had experience here more than just 1 year. This is Rory McIlroy's 14th time at Augusta, and he still hasn't won. I don't think that we can say that Zalatoris, while a great young player, and maybe next year, like what Scotty Scheffler is doing now, if you look at what he's done over the last 2 years, it kind of led up to what he's doing. Zalatoris is going to be a great player, but not this week.
All right, guys, need you very quick here on this last one. Who's someone you're going to be fading at Augusta this week, Geoff?
I'm going to fade Colin Morikawa. This has not worked out well if you faded Colin Morikawa in majors recently, but I'm going to fade him this week. Doesn't have a ton of experience, hasn't been great around the greens or with the putter at all lately, and I think that'll catch up to him, especially if it gets windy and everyone starts missing greens.
All right, Pearce.
Tiger Woods, he's too old. I know he won just a couple years ago, but going into that event, he was really hot. He hasn't played in almost over a year, so no Woods for me.
Okay, not Pearce. You're Pearce. Reid.
Me and the father-in-law are fading Louis.
Yes.
No. In all seriousness, Cam Smith. He's been playing great, but he's just too expensive in the odds and DFS.